everybody, welcome back to the CesArcade. Now, excuse the eyebrow-raising intro, that's more of a throwback to my early days on YouTube when I tried to create a gimmick for the channel because I was simply lost. It was the butt of many jokes amongst my YouTube friends, but granted, we are here today to bring this character back, the Sleepy Time Gamer, just for this episode, and I want to talk about a certain type of game. Or more specifically, a list of games that evoke a certain kind of feeling and emotion. And that is the feeling of complete and utter relaxation. You ever have one of those long, stressful work days? Or just one of those days where you're just adulting non-stop and you get home and you just want to kick back, relax, and play a video game to help de-stress the mind? The criteria is for this list that these games can span any generation. And I don't even give a damn if it's a free-to-play game. Any game that can help soothe your soul and your mind with either the atmosphere, the music, the graphics, the gameplay, any of those features from the video game that can help put you to sleep. Now I have a list of games that do just that for me, and I want to share them with all of you. However, I'm not alone in this venture. I brought with me some of my fellow YouTubers to join me on this video, and they're gonna give you their top favorite, most relaxing game of all time. And that's great because not everybody's gonna find the same games relaxing. Oh, and for the record, just because these games can help put me to sleep, that doesn't mean that they're boring, alright? I'm just saying we're going full circle with this character, the Sleepy Time Gamers. So what's the first game on my list? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because I'm gonna tell you. Starting off with an absolute classic, a trailblazer for platformers to follow. The first 3D platformer that I ever got my hands on, Super Mario 64. Now, I don't really have to introduce this game, it's an absolute classic. However, there's just something about this game that brings me back so many nostalgic feelings. And the atmosphere of this game was amazing. Sometimes I would just stop and admire the areas you were standing in, and some of these levels were just iconic. Like with the outer courtyard and all those birds chirping and flapping away as you get closer to the tree. But what really gets this game on this list is the music. Now the music is simply iconic, but there are certain tracks that I just absolutely love. Whether it be inside the castle walls, or my absolute favorite, Jolly Roger's Goon. Like seriously, the music for that level in particular can put me to sleep without a problem. And I swear to God, if it's not playing while I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna haunt somebody. So, Super Mario 64 is on my list. Now let's move on to one of my fellow YouTubers, Devil May Pie. Devil May Pie, it's a pleasure to have you on the channel finally, and I want to get you going. So let's go to Devil May Pie.
Hey guys, Devil May Pie here, and when we're talking about relaxing games, for me recently I've been love playing Forza Horizon 4 on my Xbox. Just a cool game just to chill, relax, you know, just do different races, listen to awesome music, just one, you can turn your brain off and just kind of enjoy, and even enjoy other stuff in the background. So that's what I find relaxing. Another game I like to bring up is Dead or Alive Extreme 3. Just, you know, just unwind, relax, you're on this tropical island with all these beautiful Dead or Alive girls. Try out all these swimming suits, put on sunblock on their curvaceous bodies while you gander at the beautiful scenery, and also just some butt battle, and there's also volleyball. But yeah, that's what I do to unwind with my relaxing games. Hey Scorpio, what are you doing, man? Wake up! Wake up!
Oh, man, Dead or Alive Extreme 3? Boy, this video's gonna get flagged now, you perv! Devil May Pie, a fellow man of culture. Well, since you whipped out a gun, can I ask you a question? Can that gun store slimes? Slime Rancher is next on my list. Having just gotten the Switch Portable Edition, I gotta say, having this game on the go is a dream come true. It's such a fun little game where you capture slimes and build up your ranch, mining the resources from a bunch of different slimes that inhabit this fun and colorful world. This game relaxes me every time I play it. Something about the art style, the adorable slimes, the music. It's just one of those comfort food style of games. Back in 2017, and after having to deal with the displacement of the apartment fire, Slime Rancher was one of those games that helped me and my wife during that rough time in our lives, and I'm forever grateful for it. If you haven't checked it out already, it's available on PS4, Xbox One, PC, and on the Switch. Now I'm going to take it to my next guest, Femtrooper, who I know has been looking forward to this video for a while already. Sorry, Femtrooper, take it away!
Hey everybody, it's Femtrooper, and today I'm going to be talking about a game that I find super relaxing. What do I play if I want to just chill? I mean, to be fair, it's usually what I'm already playing, and I'm already playing like long RPGs and whatever. But if I really just want to just take a sec, take a break, and just chill, well, that's theater rhythm, however people say it, I don't even care. But this one, Curtain Call, fantastic. You don't need to play through a story or worry about grinding. You just want to like tap on a screen. Well, that's it for me. Theater Rhythm Curtain Call is incredible. One of my favorite games, actually. It's so well done. So many great songs. I wish we could get more of these, but with just other franchises. Why did they not bring the Dragon Quest one here? Because if you don't know, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call is a rhythm game that you use with your stylus that's all Final Fantasy music, which obviously is incredible and I love as a person who loves scores. I find that really relaxing. The Final Fantasy music is really, really good. And so yeah, Theater Rhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call is really, really good. It's something special that you can just chill out. I can just kind of relax, tap, and it's really satisfying actually. There's something really incredible about getting all the notes just right. I really do like rhythm games, so I highly recommend this if you don't own it. It's usually really cheap now, and I've seen it lots at different places for super cheap at like used video game stores and stuff. It's a really fun time. So if you want to just chill out, you don't need to worry about anything else. You just think about Sephiroth. So that's my pick for my most relaxing game that I just want to chill out, no worries. Also, hey, ScorpioCesar, what's the deal? Are you sleeping?
Oh, no, Femtrooper, don't get the wrong idea. I was listening with my eyes closed, just like in school. And it's funny that you mentioned Theater Rhythm, because I originally played that game on the 3DS, but I had no clue that there was a Theater Rhythm for Dragon Quest. Why didn't that come out in the States? Damn! This brings me to the next most relaxing game I've ever played, and that is Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2. Now, I can't believe me. Man, when this game was originally announced, I remember trying to write this off as some type of Minecraft ripoff. Pfft, like, what kind of Dragon Quest fan am I? This game took me by surprise. Like, don't get me wrong, I really did enjoy Minecraft when it launched on the Xbox 360, and I played the hell out of it. And it certainly does have a spot on this list. But Dragon Quest Builders has a story and structure that pushes you forward as you use the building blocks to rebuild the settlements. The fantastic soundtrack composed by the late Koichi Sugiyama really does make this one of the most relaxing games of all time. But yeah, that's it for this entry. Let's move on to my next guest, Craftium. Craftium, take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Craftium. Or maybe this is my avatar? I don't know. When Scorpio asked me to do this cameo, he explained that the general criteria was any of my favourite games that are so relaxing I might fall asleep to them. Being a JRPG nut, I felt like my obvious answer would be some sort of game where there's an option to just constantly grind for EXP or something, but it'd still be fun in the process. However, I noticed that due to my rather short attention span, that if I'm playing a game like that, I'll always accompany it with a podcast or a YouTube video of some sort that I'll put in the background to keep myself fully focused. So any game like that, I kinda have to rule out because I never really relax when I'm playing them. And so while trying to decide on what to do for this video, one game kept crawling back into my mind no matter how much I tried to swat it back down due to how ridiculous it was to include this game in the list. And that game was Bloodborne. Or more specifically, the opening areas of Bloodborne. You see, at this point, I know the streets of Yharnam like the back of my hand, and something about the pace of Bloodborne just really gels with me so much. Knowing how to deal with all the enemy's different tricks is a task that I find second nature at this point, but it's not so easy that I can let myself get distracted by other stuff around me. I just simply enter this blood-hungry trance until the streets of Yharnam are swept clean of the beasts of the night. And now what were originally the bone-chilling and blood-curdling screams of the hunt now just seem to simply calm me down and... Oh, what's that smell? The sweet blood, oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick. Oh, oh, sorry about that. I don't know what came over me there. Anyway, you want me to pass it back to you, Scorpio? Scorpio?
Bloodborne? Really? That reminds me, when I decide to make a top 10 anxiety-inducing game list, I'll definitely have to remember Bloodborne. Very interesting choice, I might add. But let's move on to the next game on my list. This game, Skyrim, is next. That's right, this game really doesn't need any introduction, but we're gonna give it one anyways. Skyrim just recently hit its 10th anniversary, and man, what a game this is. Now, I'm not really big into medieval games at all, but there's just something about the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I bought this on the Xbox 360, I bought it on the Xbox One when it had the special edition, and now I bought it on the Switch, and I still yet to finish this game. And while I can appreciate the aesthetics and atmosphere of a game like Bloodborne, it is a world like Skyrim that really gets me involved and relaxed. The world of Skyrim is massive, and it's easy to get lost in, so you can't blame me for straying off the beaten path. The game is simply beautiful, coupled with a fantastic soundtrack that really does relax the soul. Whether you're overlooking the beautiful horizons, shooting people in the knee with an arrow, or walking the streets of Whiterun, let's go down! Next, my boy Matt, Valkian. Let's go.
Hey Caesar. For my personal comfort game, I'd probably have to pick Luminous from the developers behind Rez in particular. It's a really cool and very addictive puzzle game where actually you can combine blocks of each color between each other while a little bit of a beat line actually goes on from the left to the right. And while it has a bit of a rhythm game aspect, I wouldn't really call it as such, or a combination of the two, if that makes any sense. But what's also interesting about it is that it always tends to change the dynamic in terms of tempo and the vibe, depending on what song there's actually been playing as well, which I think is kind of a different change of pace for something like Tetris, which goes from like one speed to a next every time you get progressively better at the game. And whenever you're playing it on the PSP, from the original that is, or even the Xbox Live version, or more recently the remastered version on the Switch, PS4 or PC, it is a really good way to kill for a few hours or even beat your high score in particular. And it's just, it has a really good vibe that makes it a bit of a nice sort of a comfort food kind of game in particular. So, Caesar? Caesar? Wake up!
Thank you, Valkian, for that marvelous entry, Luminous, a game I have still yet to play. Kirby's Epic Yarn, Yoshi's Woolly, and Crafty Worlds. I'm lumping these entries together because they're all practically the same game. They're just too similar, but they all hit me for the right reasons. They're so damn relaxing. Just look at them. How beautiful the art style and cute, relaxing gameplay is. I have such a hard time trying to play these for an extended period of time. I always end up feeling sleepy and I never make any progress or finish these games, even though they're just so simple and easy. It's funny how they're all made by the same development team. Like, I should seriously sue these guys for making me fall asleep. Next up, we have our boy Gaming with Spoons. Spoons, you got the next entry. Take it away.
When it comes to games that relax me, there are quite a few I can choose from. Donkey Kong 64, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest, among many 3D platformers and 2D platformers that I grew up playing as a child. But if I had to pick one above all else that just gives me that sense of relaxation, it would be BanjoKazooie. BanjoKazooie is among one of my favorite games of all time, and I find it very relaxing and very charming. It's a game when I feel like I'm not inspired, I can put on and it inspires me. It's a game where if I'm feeling down and depressed, I can fire up and I feel a little bit better playing it. The reasons why is because it's funny, it's charming, it has great characters, the worlds are absolutely unique and awesome to explore. It doesn't matter how many times I replay this game, I never get sick of experiencing BanjoKazooie. I really enjoy the soundtrack as well. Grant Kirkhope has composed an amazing soundtrack. Not only does the game help me relax, but the soundtrack as well. If I'm having a crappy day, I can hum the soundtrack or listen to the soundtrack, and I find it very, very relaxing. Listening to the soundtrack along with the game is also just something super relaxing, and I can't help the urge but to hum along as I play the game. Honestly, it's such a wonderful game, and I would kill to have a remake of BanjoKazooie come to the Xbox One, and given the treatment of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy style of gameplay.
Yo, Scorpio, wake up!
It's funny that you bring up BanjoKazooie, Spoons, because the next games on my list belong to the same developer and pedigree. Viva Pinata and its sequel, Trouble in Paradise. These two games were some of my favorite titles on the Xbox 360 when they came out. There's just something so relaxing about the unique aesthetics and the music of this game. Not to mention the whole aspect behind the gameplay involving you making your garden enticing for those adorable pinata animals to show up and set up camp. Truly a game that should definitely get checked out, and if you haven't played it and own an Xbox One or a Series or whatever, definitely check it out on Rare Replay because it has both Viva Pinata 1 and 2, and they're both worth checking out. And that brings me to my next guest, SurgeMan X. SurgeMan X, take it away.
When I think of relaxing games, you know, there's always Animal Crossing, which is great, Stardew Valley. But for me, the best kind of relaxing game is something like Mega Man 8. Now, right away, you might be thinking, Mega Man, how is that relaxing? That's a very frantic game, very jump and shoot, dodge everything. But Mega Man 8 is the easiest in the franchise by far. And the visuals alone is very dreamlike. The music is very calm and soothing, especially when you go to Astro Man and Aquaman's level. That music it's a perfect music to help you go to sleep too. And I gotta say, this is a very calm game. I like it a lot. This is something that helps me de-stress. It is one of my favorite games of the franchise, so you should definitely check it out if you want an easier experience and not something as crazy like a Mega Man 2 or other entries in the franchise. Yo, dude, what the heck? I spend my time, my busy schedule to help you out with your video? That's not cool, man. It's very disrespectful. And for that, you know what? This is for revenge. Rubik's World? Psh, it's all yours.
Oh, man. Ow. Really? You throwing games at me now? Damn, that hurt like a bitch. Ow. Next game on my most relaxing games of all time list is Pokemon Channel. Man, I gotta review you someday. I swear to God, Pokemon Channel does not get enough love. Nearly everybody dislikes this game, and okay, I get it. It's barely a game to many, but for me, it was the kind of game I could just kick back, relax, watch some TV with my buddy Pikachu while exploring the various channels, and furnishing my room, meeting other Pokemon in the wild, while taking quizzes that test my knowledge on Pokemon. And while it may not be the Pokemon adventure everybody wanted on the GameCube, it was still one of the most relaxing games I ever played on the console. So let's move on to my next guest, Zero X Shinobi. Zero, take it away.
When I think of a game that brings me back to a state of mind of complete relaxation, I'm gonna have to say it's Metal Slug 3. And not just the Xbox version, I'm referring to Metal Slug 3 in general, because see, this game, it just brings me back to the early 2000s, when my friend would come over and we would play an Neo Geo emulator called Winkowatts on the computer, and we didn't have any gamepad. We would split the keyboard right down the middle, and we would play games like Metal Slug 3. I couldn't believe that we were playing a Neo Geo game on the computer. And just playing it now, you know, when I bought the Xbox version, it also brings me back to when I worked Summer Youth, and that was like my first job. I got this game and a few others, but this is the one that I remember. I could pop this in right now and just be brought back to those days, man. Oh, man, Metal Slug 3. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because people are snoring here. But yeah, like, I like how you can pick your characters and there's like different routes and... Wake up! Wake up!
Forgive me, Zero, for I have sinned, but these next games on my list I think you'll appreciate. They're both PlayStation classics that you know too well. Croc Legend of the Gobos, and to some extension, Croc 2. This is a series that I adore, despite its janky platforming and weird controls that haven't aged that well. I tend to pop this one from time to time to get a nostalgic kick that reminds me of how great my childhood gaming was in the late 90s, and the beautiful music helps transport me to those relaxing days before this whole adulting BS and bills nonsense. Like, come on, seriously, can I go back in time to when these games were brand new and fresh? But anyways, we're nearing the final entry of my list, and for that I want to give it off to Super Mario Zilla, my boy Vinny. Vinny, you are the last and final guest of this video, so please do, by all means, take it away.
My comfort game I had to think long and hard about because I have multiple comfort games. So it was hard to choose one because I come back to pretty much all my comfort games pretty frequently whenever I can. So in the end, it had to come down to just one comfort game. But even though I have multiple, I can at least give you an example of what is one of my comfort video games. So one of them is Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4, PS5, you name it. An absolute blast of a game that I always have an excuse to come back and play. Being as big of a Spider-Man fan as I am, I can easily say it checks all my boxes and is quite frankly one of my most favorite video games of all time. The game's combat and stealth are wonderful. The web swinging is exhilarating, relaxing, is one of my biggest sources of comfort when I come back to this game. It's a big stress reliever. No matter what, whenever I play this game, even on the hardest difficulty, the ultimate difficulty, it always calms me down. While emotional in the story, you know, does bring up a few tears, it still helps me give me my escape. And without a doubt, I am beyond grateful that my favorite superhero with a video game, it was able to be my biggest stress reliever when it comes to comfort games. So pretty much it goes together like bread and butter for me. So yeah, that's definitely one of my comfort games. Where the hell did he go?
Always a pleasure having you on, Vinny. Alright, for my last and final game on this list, I want to talk about an indie game that I've become enamored with. Coffee Talk. Developed by Toget Productions, Coffee Talk is a game where you're a barista in a rainy Seattle shared by humans, orcs, elves, succubi, aliens, and more. Not only do you get to mix up caffeinated drinks for your customers, but you get to listen to their stories, their life problems, and watch as they interact with each other. And with some of the problems that these characters have, hell, they should be paying me extra because I'm like a therapist here. But it's a very charming indie game, and it's such a blast to have, especially on the Nintendo Switch, where I usually take it to bed with me right before I go to sleep, and I play one of those relaxing games, and in this case, definitely Coffee Talk is the one that gets the most playtime right before bed. It's such a relaxing experience. Well everybody, that's it for our top most relaxing video games of all time. This was a bit of a passion project of mine, and it's such a joy to be able to collaborate with a bunch of fellow YouTubers. It's something I've been meaning to do for the longest time. Thanks for everybody's patience, and thank you all for collaborating with me. And for those of you who haven't checked them out, please check out the links to their channels in the description box down below. Now, I don't know about all of you, but for me personally, once you hit your 30s, coffee don't hit quite like it used to. So I'm gonna go take a nap. Alright, so I'll see you all soon. Thanks again for watching this video. Once again, hit them all up in the description box down below. Alright everybody, I'm gonna go take a nap over there because it looks pretty enticing.